Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Cerberus J. Stone here, and we are back with Cooking Companions. If you are just joining us, do not let this cute exterior fool you. This game is sinister. It's keeping something dark beneath. I know it is. See, look at this darkness. Gregor. So, we're going to pick up where we left off. Now, I was quick saving, but then I found out that there's a real way to actually save. And I think we are just about to get to the point where things get a little bit crazy. So, if you're just joining in, then congratulations, you skipped all the boring beginning bits. But we did learn a lot about our characters, and now we're going to learn a heck of a lot more, and maybe some lore. More and lore. That's what we're going for. I am great at rhyming. So, as always, thank you for joining me, and let's just jump into it. So, you don't dream the entire night, but you sleep through everyone waking up. And that's how fast a deer could run if startled. Whoa. Incredible. Impressive. I wish we had a deer here. With the food getting lower, let's just skip today's meal. No! It's only for one day. Various cultures and religions have practiced fasting throughout history. That doesn't make us feel any better, Anatoly. What options do we have? Our food wasn't rationed properly. Uh-oh. Anatoly leaves, mumbling to himself. Well, I didn't mean to find the previous supplies, but I gave you one good meal. And now we kind of suffer, but that's fine. So passive-aggressive of him. Everyone goes to a separate area. Karen in the bedroom, Gregor in the living room, Maria in the kitchen, and Anatoly in the bathroom. Who do you want to speak to? So much to think about. Talking with Anatoly might be a good idea. Maybe smooth things over. Don't like Karen. There's Gregor. Or Maria. I could increase the relationship with her. But I think it might be a good idea to talk with Anatoly after him walking away like that. I'm done using the bathroom. Sorry, I must have been daydreaming. Anatoly looks at you oddly. Do you ever daydream? Oh my god. What the heck? Only about rivers of blood, wells filled with entrails, and villagers flayed. You bet. Yeah, of course. It's a natural way to fill in gaps of boredom. And what do you daydream about? Cooking? I nod. Yeah, I thought so. I can tell that you have a history with cooking. So, you can tell Anatoly is struggling with small talk. What's the best thing you ever cooked? A feast fit for a queen. Oh my god. Am I actually a sociopath? What the fuck is this? A feast fit for a queen. A royal feast, eh? Wonder who it was for. You'll have to tell me sometime. Okay. Oh boy. Anatoly is looking at you dreamily. He will definitely remember that. Oh, so I guess he's not pissed at me. Your relationship is stronger. Later. You decide to head back to the others. All right. Everyone looks pretty down this evening. Wish the rain would just stop. You're all doing great. We must almost be to the end of this nightmare. I'm so hungry. Me too. You are too. You wish everyone had a good night. Wait, you wish everyone a good night and get ready for bed. You go to bed with a growling stomach. You have a strange dream. A boy is yelling at you in the kitchen. You keep telling him to lie down on the tray, but he keeps shaking his head, calling you names. So you do it. You lie down on the tray and make your body as flat as a board. You show him how it's done. His anger turns to courage, and he pushes you into the oven. As the stench of burning hair fills your lungs, you see him sneering back at you. You wake in a cold sweat. Oh boy, I see now one clear as day. My goodness. Those eyes. Piercing, creepy AF eyes. Everyone seems to be sleeping in later than normal. Their stomachs must have kept them awake all night. The rain is still pouring outside. You can barely make out the trees from the windows. You hear a stirring of blankets, arms, and legs. Maria looks petrified. Can sleep. Anatoly has bags under his eyes. The storm is too loud. Karen looks out of it. Whoa. The cabin was creaking so much last night. It sounded alive. Gregor looks a little gaunt. I got a good look out the window. And? Couldn't see anything due to the rain. Great observation, Gregor. I was so hungry last night. I kept pacing around my bed. Karen turns to you. When is this going to end? I checked outside the door again. Floodwaters keep rising. Unfortunately, we're going to need to stay put unless one of us wants to drown in rainwater. As soon as the weather lets up, we'll be able to scavenge for supplies. How close is the nearest town? I don't know. Didn't you have a map on you? I think I dropped it while we were running after Gregor. I'm sure it'll show up eventually. Maria and Anatoly go white as a sheet. How are we going to find our way back now? Well, we'll have to ride out the storm. Maria looks at you. We're down to our last slice of bread. I don't know how much longer we can put off eating. The group stares at you. Gregor. It will clear up in no time. Maybe you're right. The group looks worried. They all gravitate to an area. You can tell Gregor is putting on a fake optimism, and Maria is having trouble. Which one do you want to speak with today? Maria. Oh my god. It's cold as It's cold as hell over here. I'm surprised Gregor isn't freezing to death at night. How does he do it? You explain to Maria how the size of a person and fat content determines how warm they are naturally. Yeah. Wish I was as big as Gregor. But to be honest, I don't need to be all that tall to make a difference in the world. Do you know what he wanted to do for a career? Maria does her best Gregor impression. Split firewood and gaze at the stars. How boring is that? Depends on the person, but pretty boring. You're so funny. Thanks for coming and chatting with me. Maria blushes a little. You make it easier to pass the time. Thank you. You're pretty sure Maria will remember that. 3 hearts. Now it's Anatoly and Maria. You thank her and leave the bedroom. You call everyone together. They all look grim. Yeah, they do. You could cut the tension in the room with a knife. Everyone is staring at you. They're expecting that last piece of bread for dinner. You brain it out. Everyone cannot take their eyes off it. You instruct everyone to take a pinch. And slowly, all 5 of you tear it apart like a wishbone. Everyone studies their piece of bread carefully, wondering how long it will last. Karen is the first to eat hers. She chews each bite a few 100 times before swallowing. Anatoly chews it cautiously, opening his mouth once he finishes each bite. Maria nibbles on it silently, eyes wide, moving from person to person. And Gregor just pops it in his mouth like a cherry. It was gone in an instant. It was gone in an instant. I really wish my voice would get a little bit better. It's not exactly perfect right now. I'm actually sucking on a Halls to try and help out, but we will see. The group thanks you awkwardly. It's not much, but you run out of options. You wish everyone good night and get ready for bed. You go to bed starving. Day 6. I sure hope I don't cause everyone to go mad. Good morning. Morning. Let me check if the rain has stopped. It's still flooding. What are we gonna do? Humans can live about 2 to 3 weeks without food. Water isn't a concern. Rainfall should end any day or two. Right? Actually, precipitation can occur more than 215 days a year here. But do you really think it will rain that long? Anatoly? It's been days already. What makes you think it will stop soon? Relax, everyone. Let's see how long we can ride this out. Fingers crossed it's done by tomorrow. Panic is slowly creeping in. Everyone's looking scared, but you need to survive. Karen and Gregor begin to discuss options. Do you want to speak with Maria in the kitchen or Anatoly in the living room? Oh my god, think instead about everything you've done wrong and how you've doomed everyone. Let's go and speak with Maria. Hey. Maria looks relieved to see you. Oh. That was easy. Just popping in to say hi. You okay? How are you holding up? Better question. How are you holding up? Not very good. It's very sweet of you to ask. Maria's looking at you intently. She gets a little closer to you. I noticed you didn't use any meat when cooking. Usually I have to pick it out of the foods the others make. But you respected that. Thank you. Maria is looking at you with admiration. I need to speak with Gregor for a minute, but thanks again. You're definitely sure Maria will remember that. Oh, cool. So now it's maxed. Sweet. You decide to check out the drawer again. You ask Potato where the others are. They'll be back. They wanted to explore the labyrinth of tunnels around the cabin. Surely you've seen the mouse holes, right? They connect all over the cabin. Must have been some mouse that created them. Or something worse. Anyway, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Things are gonna get worse from here on out. You have a feeling Potato is telling the truth. You realize some drool is leaking out of your mouth. Disgusting. Don't even try to eat me. You just get deathly sick if you tried. And from the look of you, you need to retain all the water you can. From rationing to cooking, you failed every common sense measure for basic survival this week. You knew something like this would happen, right? Never mind. With flood waters rising and no food now, I think it'll be a great time to go over the fundamentals of starvation with you. When experiencing starvation, there are 4 factors that will determine if you live or die. Age, height, weight, and your degree of activity or inactivity. You've been especially lazy, so I think you'll survive a little longer than the others. The Harris-Benedict equation can help you figure out how many calories you need to simply maintain your current body weight. The equation produces a number called the basal metabolic rate, or BMR. Stay with me here. BMR equals 655 plus 4.35 times weight in pounds plus 4.7 times the height in inches minus 4.7 times age in years. Got it? For fun, let's try it out on someone here. Maria. Using Harris-Benedict, she looks like she's 120 pounds, about 5 feet 5 inches tall, about 20 years old. Crunching the numbers, I think she'd need about 1,388 calories daily. But that's being abnormally stationary, and she'd have to lie in bed all day and night just eating, breathing, and using her brain. Not very common when you're starving to death. People tend to get up more. If she was being very active, let's say swimming through floodwaters, we need to multiply that 1,388 calories by 1.9. I'm a goddamn calculator, Potato. You know the phrase, dumb as a potato? It doesn't work on me. So now she needs 2,638 calories per day. That's quite the difference, especially if you didn't ration the food properly. Which you didn't. I guess that wraps up our first survival lesson. Hopefully we'll never have to speak again. Okay. You shut the drawer, going over the numbers again. Gregor, I don't think any of us can take this much longer. Gregor's voice starts to crack. I don't want to ask this, but it's time. One of us needs to go outside and search for food. Everyone is silent. I'll go. Maria, I used to swim all the time near my house, so I'll probably have the best chance of swimming through the floodwaters. No, let me go instead. You won't get very far if anything happens to your glasses, Anatoly. You're blind as a mole rat, remember? That's true, but... Little guy, let me go. Gregor, Sounds good to me. Karen! His arms are definitely the longest, so he'd probably be the best at climbing trees out of all of us. No, that wouldn't be right. Gregor, let me go instead. I get that none of these options are good ones, but we need to find food or help. Gregor grabs a branch from the woodpile. He cuts it into different measurements. Since we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We'll each pick one from my hand, and the shortest will go outside and search for food. You're not worried about drawing. You saw Gregor cut the branch lengths, so you can tell which one is the biggest of the bunch. You pick it. You watch the others intently. Will it be Gregor? Anatoly? Karen? Will it be... Looks like I've got the shortest. Maria. Maria. It's okay. I watched Anatoly forage earlier, so I'll know what to look out for. Just swim until you can find higher ground, then scout the area. Maybe you'll find a fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken. Karen, Anatoly, and Gregor. I'll keep us alive. I promise. She promised. Everyone watches as Maria leaves the cabin. The silence is deafening. Goodbye. The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is. And then silence. Maria has left the cabin. Karen. I'm sure we'll see her again. The rest of the group nods. Everyone stays up, waiting and waiting. The sun has completely set. One by one, each person quietly shuffles off to bed. You get ready for bed and easily pass out. Wow, what an achievement. Dead to me. Jesus. You have a strange dream. The two women in front of you could be twins. One of them you recognize. The other is a guest. You ask the guest to sit on a shovel. Wow. And then you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong, you can't get her into the oven. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking in the coals. You feel 4 hands on your shoulders, and both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair cause you to throw up on the embers. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal door off the oven, tearing through the wood logs of the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two through the woods. Your burns chill with the wind. The guest looks behind her and her eyes widen as she sees you. She's terrified. Your fury rips trees out by their roots, soil from the ground, rocks from their pits. You've never been this angry in your entire life. Their stamina can't last forever. You're gaining on them. As you trample through a field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch the glint of it in the sun. Golden. As if by magic, the earth splits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. You fall into the pit, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs. You're unable to scream anymore. You wake in a cold sweat. Whoa. That one was hard to read, but I liked that story. That was a really cool read. If only my voice was perfectly fine and not weird and raspy. Good morning. Do you think she made it to higher ground? I believe in Maria. Maria. Me too. She'll be fine. Right, little guy? So what do we do now? Just wait? Karen? How long? It's been almost a day since she left. Anatoly and Gregor look nervous. Someone needs to go look for her. We need to wait, Karen. Wait for what? The nearest town is miles and miles away. Waiting is all we can do for now. So it could be days before she gets back? What are we supposed to eat? Mice? Karen, I'm sure Anatoly will agree, but we'll discuss next options when we get to it. Every waking thought is about food now. I never should have eaten that much. I'm... Karen's hands are involuntarily shaking. Gregor and Anatoly just nod in agreement. They don't even need her to elaborate. You're sure Maria will make it back? She promised. Everyone retreats to their areas. What do you want to do today? Speak with Anatoly. I feel bad. Hey. The kitchen definitely doesn't feel the same without Maria. I'm probably like keep changing her name. Oops. I don't mean to do that. The kitchen definitely doesn't feel the same without Maria. Her laugh. Her smile. I never got to tell her how I felt about her. She'll be back, right? You nod. Yeah. I wish we had rationed better. You decide to distract Anatoly from his misery with an old story. There was once a villager who had to stock up supplies for the winter. He filled his house with a cow, a sack of grains from the field, and 92 buckets of water, mostly for the cow. He quickly ran out of room as the house wasn't very big. One day, the villager grew sick. He knew he needed a life-giving milk from the cow to survive the winter. But when he attempted to milk the cow, his grip was too weak to grasp her udder. In desperation, he began to boil the grains using his buckets of water. The cow cried out for food, but the villager could only afford to feed himself. Each night, the cries of the cows kept him awake. Until one day, he finally ran out of food. The villager crawled into bed, crying as the snow deepened outside. The cow's sad eyes stared at him. He wanted to comfort the cow, but he couldn't step over the buckets. He was too weak, too sick. The last thing he heard was the cow still crying out for food. One haunting noise to end his life. Anatoly looks horrified with your story. I am not good at this. You leave him alone in the kitchen. Well, I'm glad I soothed his nerves. Jesus, I'm a terrible storyteller. Why would I say that story? Jesus. I can't stop thinking about that vegetable stew. I'd be fine with the bread and jam. I'd be fine with just the strawberries. Nobody else laughs. I would kill for some vegetables right about now. You would too. I'm going to try and get some sleep. Good night. Night. You fall asleep quickly, but you only dream about desecrating a corpse. You wake in a cold sweat. In a completely different room. Oh boy. Oh boy. No. I hope no. Good morning. Karen's looking worse. Will you cook for the group today? Cook. You take out a cutlet of meat and begin to cook it in the oven. You cooked meat. Where did you get that? You ignore Karen's question. What's that smell? Gregor finally gets off the couch. Where did you... The three are looking at you, salivating. Hold on. You take the charred meat out of the oven, cutting into small cutlets. They immediately grab some off the plate, chewing ferociously. You take a piece and immediately devour it. Do you have any more of this? You explain how the meat is stored securely, hidden, so you can ration better this time. I understand. Thank you. Anatoly runs to the bathroom, puking in the toilet. You can hear him sobbing for a few minutes. This taste is... Gregor wanders off. Anatoly returns, looking choked up. I was too weak. Left you some of the meat. Don't fight this, Anatoly. Anatoly takes a cutlet from the plate, turning his back to the group as he devours it. You can hear him crying. Finally, my focus is coming back. Going to read some of those books. Keep them occupied, okay? Karen leaves you with the men. Who do you want to talk to? You knock on the door first. Anatoly? You slowly open the door. Thanks for checking in on me. You ask if he still feels sick. Not anymore. I think it was a mental thing. Please don't tell me where the meat came from. The less known, the better. I nod. Thank you. You're sure Anatoly will remember that? Oh boy. This is nuts. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. You leave Anatoly and go tidy up some parts in the kitchen. Hours pass. The meal gave everyone the perseverance to keep going. Eating will just make them hungrier. They're fine now, but soon they'll be begging for more. We've waited long enough. What's for dinner? You calmly explain that you want to ration the meat better this time, and there will be no dinner. Fine. I understand. I guess I'd rather eat tomorrow than more today. No arguments? Perfect. Everyone decides to call it an early night. You fall asleep instantly tonight. You have a strange dream. You're having dinner with a blacksmith, but he's not touching his food. The only light in the room comes from the oven. He clears his throat, stroking his beard. I can forge anything, he says. Your eye has been giving you issues lately, so you reply. Forge me a new eye, then. You laugh. But then ropes come out. He ties you to your chair with a long rope to prevent you from struggling. You rip the rope apart without even trying. So the blacksmith uses a thicker rope. No turning back now. He takes a hot poker out of the coals, holding it in front of his face. You can see his beard and eyes watching you. He slowly brings back the poker, aiming carefully for your eye, before plunging it through your skull with a sickening crunch. The force of the blow throws you backward a few feet. You're unable to break the ropes. You vomit all over your chest as the smell of your decimated eye floods your nostrils. The blacksmith stands over you, spitting on your body. You wake in a cold sweat. Damn, that blacksmith looked deadly. You wake up to see Gregor looking out the window. He turns to you, not smiling. Take a look out the window. Do you notice anything? What the heck? The floodwaters have receded a little bit, but everyone is still bound to the cabin. The trail used to be completely visible. It's gone now. Good morning, big guy. Will Maria make it back? This might sound a little crazy, but every night around 2 a.m., I can hear her outside. She makes this awful gurgling noise like she's trying to get water out of her lungs. Have you heard her, Gregor? Sometimes, when the rain gets faint, I think I could hear her whispering. I haven't heard anything like that. When she's whispering, it's like she's trying to tell you something, right? Holy fuck. Oh, jeez. Scary. Oh. Yes. Oh, that actually got me. I was not ready for that. Woo. Hair on the back of my neck just stood up. I sometimes hear her crying through the radio. But that's just a broadcast. Right? Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I think we should have another piece of meat for breakfast. One step closer to Maria. It's what she would have wanted. What's going into you, Anatoly? Anatoly's eyes look at you, begging. Bring us another slab, please. He clearly doesn't have the stomach for it. I can't get the taste out of my mouth. Please help me. Anatoly. Gregor looks pained at Anatoly's words. I think he's right. Please bring us more of that meat. You grab some of the meat from your secret hiding place. You cut it into squares, adding it to the boiling cauldron of water. It will taste bland without any seasoning, but you need to serve it up right away. What's taking so long? Boil it faster. It almost looks done. Patience. It's finally finished. You serve the meat in bowls. Gregor drinks the broth first before swallowing the chunks whole. Like a duck goes when eating bread. Anatoly creates ripples in the broth using a spoon. He isn't eating. I'm sorry about earlier, everyone. I don't know what overtook me. Maria. Anatoly begins to weep. You look over at Karen. You didn't notice her even start to eat. There's just an empty bowl now. Karen is staring right at you. How much more meat is left? You explain how most of it has gone bad. This is the last of it. How could you be so careless again? You remember Karen's knife. You need to think fast. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Wait around again? The storm isn't ending. You clear your throat. Anatoly? Yes? I think tomorrow you should look for Maria. Or forage for plants outside. I think you should go tomorrow, little guy. Nobody else can identify edible plants like you. Please, Anatoly. You can swim back after a few hours. Gregor is right, Anatoly. Maybe you'll find Maria out there. I think Maria's fine by herself. He still hasn't accepted what happened yet. She doesn't need anyone's help. But we need your help, Anatoly. That's right, Anatoly. Please help us. Let me sleep on it, okay? No problem, little guy. Everyone shuffles off to their rooms, reading books and knitting to pass the time. You go to bed ravenous. Maria? Something is approaching. Onion! What the? Jump head? Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Ugh. Goddamn onion. Who would have known that children's cheering would be so freaking scary? Don't be a crybaby, it's just me. Yeah, okay. Jerk onion. Saving. Onion! Not going to be very sweet today. I'm worried about Anatoly. He's going to cave to peer pressure. Can you stop him from leaving the cabin? You don't answer, Onion. Please? Don't you trust me? You shake your head. Got a fun factoid for you. Did you know that leaving out an unpeeled onion in your room absorbs bacteria? It will help prevent colds and ward off viruses. Onion! That was a lie. The fun factoid is a myth. People actually believed it in the 1500s. How embarrassing. Who would believe that? Oh, I just realized you probably heard the halls of my mouth. I apologize. There's even a doctor in 1919 who caused a surge of people believing it. Anyways, you know what smells like a raw onion left in a room? You. It's been a while since your last bath, right? You can't remember. You could smell you before I even came into the room. Yikes. So, can you stop Anatoly from leaving? I know he has cabin fever, but this is ridiculous. It will be impossible to stop a grown man from leaving. Please. Oh wait, it'll be impossible to stop a grown man from leaving. Please. We don't need another one stalking the hallways. What? Tapping on the windows? Crying on through the window radio? You have this sudden urge to scream. Why do you think I've been using the mouse holes to get around? Scared to death that I'll run into her. Don't make me tattle the cabbage about you. She could be as mean as potato if you get on her bad side. Oh. Just kidding. She's great. Anyways, when the time comes, just tell Anatoly that you care about him and don't want him to leave. Even if it's for me. Okay? You can trust me. Now, if you excuse me, I need to work on some new ice skates. They're made of butter slices, so I'll get to skate around in a frying pan tomorrow. What? Wait, what? Later. Wait, what? Wait, what? So does that mean I'm eating the onion tomorrow? In exchange for Anatoly's life? Your mind finally manages to forget everything that happened. You fall asleep again, still ravenous. Day 10. So, do I save Anatoly? You have a strange dream. A fox is collecting payment in your living room. You despise him, so you put 2 dogs at the bottom of a sack. Then add 6 chickens on top. The fox smiles at you and leaves. At some point in his journey, the fox will eventually open the sack, and the dogs will tear the fox in half. Filled with such loathing for the fox, you gave him the only things you had for food. All of those chickens. As the snow piles up outside, you begin to eat whatever you can find. Pillowcases, candles, leather. One day you wake up and find you have nothing left to eat. Absolutely nothing. Just an insatiable hunger. A few days later you go mad and leave the cabin completely ravenous. A nearby tree looks like charred meat. Your iron teeth cut through the tree bark, tearing your gums apart by the splinters. Your mouth fills quickly with blood. Days later, a deer gallops by, the first creature in the woods to see your corpse. You wake in a cold sweat. Oh, I was expecting another flash of light. Whoa. Something smells terrible in the living room. Huh? Someone puked in a corner. You wipe it up with a rag to save them the embarrassment. Good morning. Good morning, little guy. Well, Anatoly, what's your decision? I barely slept last night. Her whispers came through one of the holes in the floor. She kept telling me to come outside. We don't want to rush you, but one of us puked last night. So that's what that smell was? Anatoly, my patience is wearing thin. You have 1 hour to make a decision. Why so quickly? Because I'm not waiting any longer. You can see a glint of Karen's knife under her dress. Best to watch out for that knife. Karen's getting a little bit crazy. The group disperses. Tensions seem to be rising. You have 1 hour to kill. Oh, I get it. You have 1 hour to kill. What do you want to do? Talk with the Chompettes, converse with Karen, chat with Anatoly near the basement. I guess if you know what, let's do it. Let's follow the Onion's advice and chat with Anatoly and convince him not to go outside. Huh, that's a creepy ass basement. Why would I have a door that creepy? Anatoly looks pale. Thanks for coming over. Anatoly seems comforted by your presence. Gregor's told me he heard Maria. I'm sure Karen isn't being honest with me. Have you checked out the basement door closely? Every so often, I can see her peeking out at me through the holes. I really don't want to drown outside. But at least I won't have her tormenting me anymore. You know what's in the basement, don't you? Anatoly, I'm here for you. Thank you. Staying in his cabin is messing with my head. I feel so lost some days. When I was 6, my father asked me to put flowers on the grave of our dead dog. That dog was very special to him. Helped him fight food during the war. When he came back injured, he brought the dog to meet my mother, who was pregnant with me. He truly loved that dog. I carried a vase filled with flowers with me into the forest and took a left when I should have gone right. I was lost for 1 full day, wandering through the forest, crying and panicked. I foolishly skipped breakfast that day, so I was desperate at this point. I tried to, but I couldn't recognize any plants to eat. So I tried eating some random plant I found in the woods, but I puked it all up. I was humiliated when I stumbled back to my house. I'll never forget my father running up, worried, and I was still holding the vase with flowers in it, in my entire shirt stained with vomit. After that experience, I studied obsessively my mother's collection of foraging books, so I would never starve in the wilderness again. Thank you for absolutely everything. You nod, calling everyone together for a meeting. Anatoly, you okay, little guy? Anatoly looks pale, like he's going to pass out. Anatoly, have you made your decision? Yes. I'll help you all out. I promise. Thank you, Anatoly. Big tears roll down Gregor's cheeks. I'll miss you, big guy. I'll miss you, little guy. Thank you, Anatoly. I know this wasn't easy, but it's for the best. Karen? Yes? Gregor looks at you expectantly. Did you want to say anything to Anatoly? You say nothing. Goodbye, Anatoly. Goodbye, everyone. Good luck, little guy. Anatoly has left the cabin. See you soon, little guy. I guess all we can do now is wait. Good night. Karen goes to the bedroom to sleep.
I didn't tell him the truth.
Gregor is getting choked up.
I didn't tell him. Missing him already.
Gregor curls up on the couch for the night, turning his back to you. You shut your eyes quickly. Falling asleep. You hear a scraping from the floor. Oh my god. Bread, ugh. You didn't scare me as bad as Onion. You explain how this isn't a good time right now.
This is no laughing matter. I'm worried about Gregor. He is as tall as a tree, but as dumb as a brick.
What's the root of that?
Ha ha ha. Another cornbread classic. You're being very unpopular right now.
That's a tree reference. Get it? Oh, poplar. Jesus. Haha. Anyways, you need to protect Gregor from that red-haired woman. Cabbage called an emergency chompette meeting and told me to give you this mission.
Watch out for that knife and protect Gregor at all costs.
Understood? You're fooling nobody with that act. You've never had hearing loss. Let's go with a nonverbal answer. All right? Protect Gregor at all costs. You're fooling nobody with that act. You never had hearing loss. Let's go with a nonverbal answer. All right? Protect Gregor at all costs. Yes. You nod. Ha ha ha. It's the yeast you can do, right? You tell Brad that pun didn't make sense. You tell Brad that pun didn't make sense. Yeah. On a roll today. I'll see you around. Brad hops away, squeezing himself through the mouse hole with a small pop. You fall asleep thinking about what Brad told you. You have a strange dream. It's lying on the table in front of you. You take off the glasses first, partially cracked, and set them down next to the workbench. Working the saw, you wrap the cuts in an old newspaper. Some of it gets soggy immediately, so you begin drying the cuts with a towel before wrapping. Much better. You hear something approaching, so you clench a fist and get ready to strike whatever's coming for you. You wake in a cold sweat. Day 10. All right. Well, I think... Oh, sorry. Day 11. That's right. Day 11. So we'll see what this first screen is going to pop up, and we're going to call it here. Scary. All right. So we're going to, for realsies, save. There we go. Boom. And yeah, I am loving this game. It made me jump a couple of times. Who would have known that an onion could be so scary? And the first time those faces popped up, God, just staring at those faces gives me goosebumps, and it is something else. Jeez. But boy, am I loving it, and I cannot wait to play more. Everyone basically seems like they're all on the same page, and they're just kind of waiting for me to go murder them, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird relationship to have, I tell you what. So, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to call it right there, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.